All right, Bobby, you're our intro guy.
Today is a special day, and today is a podcast where we talk about that special day. I'm Bobby Parker.
And I'm Joey Nickel.
Welcome to Today Is. That felt like it happened pretty smoothly.
Yeah, that sounded pretty natural. That was pretty good. Although it's been a while since we recorded.
It has been, and that's why I'm impressed that went fairly smoothly. It's making me think back to the days when the podcast started, and the intro was probably the hardest thing I've ever done.
Yeah, the intro was pretty rough in those early days. It was, you had a real issue trying to get that intro
Yes.
to sound natural.
Yeah, I'm not great with forcing a script, and I'm learning that while I'm participating in a play that's very scripted. So yeah, that is just a little thing I'm thinking about now a lot. Like, hey, how do I say something that repetitively and make it sound natural?
Well, here's the thing. I don't know how you. I think we've talked about writing process before, but
yeah, we've definitely talked about writing process.
We've talked about writing process before. Can I get you to say a couple more things? Say check 1, 2, 3.
Check 1, 2, 3. Check 1, 2, 3.
Check 1, 2, 3. Check 1. Okay, we're okay.
Good.
Just making sure our levels. I'm not peaking. We've talked about writing process before. Like, I don't read word for word anything. Like, none of my jokes are written word for word. Everything I do on stage is developed on stage. So, like, I write ideas and then I work them out. I tried to write down jokes word for word early on, and it was terrible. It didn't work. However, I do try it every now and then. Every now and then I will. Like, I wonder if I could write a joke word for word and then try that on stage, and then it never works.
Yeah, we are locking in the table. But yes, so I will write something out word for word. Like, hey, I'm talking to myself. I'm telling the joke out. I'm writing it out. And I don't do that because I want to memorize it word for word. I just want to get an idea of my cadence.
Just want to work it out, yeah.
And then, like, hey, this is the part that I know hits or I know is funny, and I kind of want to get that word or that phrase in the right order. But the rest of it, the details, how I lead into it, that's very fluid.
Right. Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. I work the same way. And, I've done that a few times, too, where I've written out a joke just because that's what I'm trying to figure out, how to get into it, something like that. But normally the way, like, I have an idea, I write one word down, or 2 words, usually. 1 or 2 words. Maybe if there's a phrase that I think I want to remember to have in the joke, like a turn of phrase I think is funny,
Yep.
I might write that down. And then I'm getting on stage at an open mic and working it out. I usually, like, in any given week, I might go to, I host 2 open mics. So I've got those, and then I usually go to one other at least. So I've got 3 mics to kind of work it out over a week, and then, and then I might let it sit for a while and then come back to it and then do it again over 3 mics, and then it makes its way to a real show.
Yep. I've been finding that sticking to an exact script is difficult, which makes me probably not the best actor for certain things. Like, yeah. I think I'm a pretty good actor, but it's like, hey, I think it would punch a little bit better if I just rephrased it a little bit this way, or if I, change the wording around a little bit, or like, hey, let me add this tag on here, but it also throws other actors off if they're not used to it.
If they're waiting for a cue, a verbal cue, then they're going to miss it because you're saying different stuff.
Right. Yeah. And so, like, I've enjoyed acting quite a lot, and I've done a fair amount of acting things, commercials, like like small TV things, some fun internet stuff, like some short films. Loved it, great, and we had a dedicated acting process, and it was people that were used to working with me, and it was a blast. But on stage, it's a little bit different, especially with kids. Because kids are very cue oriented, and they don't know how to work with chaos that I create.
Yeah, for sure. Yes, it definitely. Well, they always say never work with animals or kids.
Right, yeah. Which I'm finding out to be pretty much the same thing. Kids are animals. They are just terrible animals. They're actually these kids are all wonderful kids, great actors or good enough actors for their age.
I know we're gonna get to this later, but when are your performances?
So performances are December 18th through the 21st. So Thursday through Sunday.
So that's Thursday through Sunday.
Thursday through Sunday. At this point, I think we're one or two in because we're pre-recording.
Yeah, I think our day is Friday.
Friday, yeah. So
this is a Friday holiday, so there'll be a show tonight and a show tomorrow and a show Sunday.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. And and it's fun. And the thing is, it's rotating cast for the kids. So not all the kids are performing the same characters every night, so like it's different cues for the kids, so there hasn't been consistency there, which is great because a lot of kids are getting opportunity to be on stage. It's fun for them, but it's difficult to set continuity. But yeah, just some fun stuff.
But rehearsals have been going okay.
Rehearsals have been going okay. We also have a young, if not first-time director, very new director. She is, I think, a freshman in high school.
You weren't kidding when you said young.
Yeah, but she, like her mom runs the theater.
Okay.
Like she grew up in it. Like she knows it. She's just not used to leading, especially adults. And I'm doing my best to be a very coachable person. I'm trying to support as much as I can. I think she's doing a fantastic job. It's just something she's not experienced with, and that's showing sometimes. A little hesitancy here or there. Like I make sure I go out of my way to ask her a question. Say, hey, what would you prefer here? Let her know she's in charge. She can boss me around. I don't prefer to be bossed around, but hey,
when I was that age, I directed a movie.
Did you?
Yes, and I don't think we've ever talked about this. I decided I wanted to make a Star Wars parody.
Okay.
When I was 14, I think I was 14. Yeah, I think I was 14, and we cast the movie it was me and my friends, and we just had a camcorder, like just but and that was it. I don't even think we had a tripod. Like I had to hold the camera, but then I was also in the movie, so I had to have my friend hold the camera sometimes, that kind of stuff, and we just kind of came up with alternate things for the Star Wars things, like just to be silly. It wasn't like most parodies will like put something in another world kind of thing.
Right.
Like most parodies, you're not just being silly versions of the source material. Usually you're like changing an aspect of it to make it a parody a little bit. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I do, and I think what might be the best example of that parody would be the Star Wars holiday special,
right?
Because they parodied themselves.
Yeah, right, exactly. And at the time, we just had the original trilogy. The prequels hadn't come out yet. The prequels wouldn't come out for another couple of years. I think I was. This would have been like 3 years later. The prequels came out, so it's just the original. And we did A New Hope, and for some reason we just changed words. We're just like, it was instead of Obi-Wan Kenobi, I think we did Obi-2 Kenobi, like just dumb stuff. And then It was like, instead of Leia saying your only hope. It was like we have no soap. Just like just replacing words with funnier words. And then it was like instead of the force, it was the farce, which that part was genius. Actually, that was the best part. Was naming it the farce instead of the force. And with the thing was we didn't even have a script. We just knew the movie so well.
Right.
We would just quote the movie as our script and then remember, oh yeah, we're supposed to be saying different things to make it funny. And then like it really was just a remake of Star Wars of A New Hope, but with slightly different dialogue.
Right, and I'm going to say this right now. I think the farce is superior to what Spaceballs did with the Schwartz.
Yes.
And now I understand the whole Jewish connection for Spaceballs and why they chose the Schwartz, but I think the farce much better comedic. It's just a better comedic thing.
It was. I was just making sure I hit record. It was a lot of fun. I played.
You look like you were probably a Wookiee.
No, I played. No, I wanted to be Darth Vader because I was making the movie. I wanted to be Darth Vader, but the only Darth Vader mask we had was just the kind that goes over your face, not the helmet, not the full helmet. It was just like the Halloween mask type, but it also had a voice changer, which was good. And I didn't have like. We didn't have so for the costume I wore. This was in Iowa, and everybody owned snow pants in Iowa.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And they probably had them in Ohio too.
Yes,
for sledding days. And I had black snow pants, and I didn't have. I don't know why I didn't get like a black sheet, but I got my black comforter as the cape. So it was this huge Knights of the Watch cloak, like this giant, and then I had I found leather gloves, black leather gloves, and then I wore the thing, and then I wore a cowboy hat because I was Darth Brooks. That was my character.
That makes complete.
I actually think we switched it. We would go back and forth between Darth Brooks and Darth Vader.
And that works because Garth Brooks had a secret identity.
That's true.
As well.
But we never did anything to make Darth Vader seem like Garth Brooks in any way except a cowboy hat. That was it.
I mean, that makes sense to me.
We never made reference to him being a country singer. I didn't speak with a southern accent. I didn't sing Friends in Low Places.
But you had snow pants on.
I had snow pants on.
I mean, that kind of seems like hip waders.
And all of the fight scenes, all of the space battles were done with Hot Wheels. So we would just have Hot Wheels in front of the camera. We had the Star Wars ships in Hot Wheel form, which they weren't even to scale. Like a Star Destroyer was like that big, and then Millennium Falcon was like that big. So it didn't they didn't match size wise, but that was the. And then the credits, the scrolling credits.
Right.
I just wrote them on a piece of paper and then went like this over the camera.
Okay.
I don't know where this is today. I haven't seen it in 20 years.
So now you did that. You said you were like 14.
Mm-hmm.
So it would have been just about the same time, but probably a little bit, just a little year or two difference. I was doing my senior project in high school, and which
was also a parody of Star Wars.
It was a film about Macbeth, but we did a parody of The Godfather.
Oh yeah,
so Macbethellini, and it resonates now because while we were filming that using a camcorder.
Yeah.
It was also very snowy in Ohio when we did it. Then we had somebody actually laying down on a pond that was covered with ice because he got assassinated and they throw him in the lake, but the lake was frozen. And and it's just like, oh, that's funny. But the big tie-in, like one of the days we filmed, we found out that John Candy passed away. And so that was one of the big hits. Like, oh man, this thing. So we dedicated the film to John Candy, which the Spaceball ties, all the Star Wars. But yeah, that was one that always sticks out to me. Like, man, that day just rings. Like, man, day we lost John Candy. That hurt.
So that's pretty much all you've been doing is rehearsing for your play recently. You haven't done any comedy shows this week?
No, I did go out to an open mic last weekend at First Coast. They do an early open mic on Saturdays.
Oh yeah, I heard they're doing that now.
Yeah.
How did that go? Was there anybody there?
There was no audience there when I was on stage, just other comedians,
Yeah.
which is. It's not ideal, but it was nice just knocking some rust off, and I did stuff that I had not done in a long time, and was working on some jokes that I haven't had a chance to write out. So true open mic stuff, and it was neat because I got to see Crespo. He was there. He got to see a couple other comedians I haven't seen in a while. Hang out with some people, and then I immediately had to leave to come back to do a family thing. But it was nice.
What time is their mic?
It's like 4:30 in the afternoon.
Oh,
so it's
every Saturday, or was it?
I think it's every Saturday.
Huh.
It's an early mic before their improv shows start.
Right.
So I mean it's not an ideal time. Most people aren't looking for a show, especially in Jacksonville at that time. Well,
I'll tell you what, it's not an ideal time anywhere. And
No,
I found that out this past weekend because I was at the Blue Ridge Comedy Festival.
Very
This is
nice.
my festival badge that
like it.
nobody asked to see the whole time I was there. I think I wore it once for a picture because it is comically large.
That is incredibly large.
Look how big this pass is, but it's great. You can see my name nice and clear. Here's the T-shirt from the festival. The back of the shirt has my name on it. I'm not turning around because my back hurts.
I'm gonna be honest. I like the logo. I like all of this. It is cool. It's a Bigfoot with a microphone.
Yeah.
He doesn't have the microphone on here though.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
He has a microphone on the T-shirt, but not on the festival pass.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun. I left Thursday night. My first show was Friday. Turns out they did have I guess they didn't have a show Thursday night, but the festival pretty much the festival started on Friday, and I left Thursday night though because I wanted to get there early because the first show was like at 6, I think.
Okay.
The first show, I wasn't on the first show, but the first show was at 6, so I wanted to, I wanted to be able to take in all as many shows as I could.
Right.
So I left Thursday night, drove 3 hours, and stayed at a hotel, and then I got a jump on it in the morning, and then got there in plenty of time, and they arranged an Airbnb. For us to stay in, which is one of the main reasons I applied to this festival is because it came with accommodations.
Yes, that is phenomenal.
I didn't have to pay for a hotel for 2 nights. The only thing I had to pay for was gas and food on the way up there, and then they did feed us a little bit up there, so actually Saturday I didn't buy any food because they bought pizza on Saturday.
Right.
And, I'm getting ahead of myself. So Friday I drive up there. I have a hoodie. When I packed my car, I have a hoodie, and I tell my wife, "Hey, can you go get my jacket too? Just I just want to have another thing. I don't have a coat. I don't have a heavy coat at all.
Right.
Not even a little bit. So I don't have a winter coat of any kind. So I've got a hoodie and like a shirt jacket, like a casual, like thick, just a thick." cloth jacket.
Right.
You know,
A little bit thicker than like a sweatshirt.
yes, but like with with the snaps on the pockets and stuff like that. That's all I brought with me. Oh, and I have a flannel, which I'm planning to wear as a shirt for. I have 2 flannels I'm wearing as my shirts for those shows.
Right.
So that's all I've got. And I drive up there, and I looked at the weather ahead of time, and it looked like it was going to get freezing temperatures overnight, but it looks like during the day and evening it would be okay, like in the 40s.
Right. Okay.
Which it was in the 40s the other day here. So I was like, 45, that's not too bad. I should be okay with a hoodie. I get there, and I was not okay with the hoodie.
Oh.
It was colder than I could have ever imagined on the very first night. So I get there, and it's still sun's still out when I get there, right?
Right.
I get all changed into my clothes for the show. I get things ready. I get my recording stuff ready for my show. I head down to the first show at 6. It is 27 degrees already.
Oh, that is cold.
At 6 o'clock. I mean, it was cold. It was under 32 degrees. And maybe it didn't start that way at 6, but it was not long till it got to 27 degrees. I remember seeing 27 degrees. So I get to the first show. The first show is in a souvenir shop on the downtown strip there. By the way, Bristol, Tennessee is also Bristol, Virginia. The state divides the city. And State Street, aptly named, is the street of the border. So you cross State Street, you're in another state.
So one side of the street is one state.
One side of the street is State Street. One side of the street is Virginia. One side of the street is Tennessee.
That makes more sense than having a city and then another city with the same name.
With the same name.
I was picturing them like 5 miles apart.
They are.
It's the same city.
It's the same city. It's just split in half by the state. And I found out that I think the Tennessee police don't really show up to that area. It's mostly patrolled by the Virginia side.
Okay.
But they have no jurisdiction to go to the Tennessee side. So
this sounds like an episode of the Dukes of Hazzard.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So there's like some homeless people that hang out sometimes on State Street, and they just hang out on the Tennessee side, and the Virginia police don't do anything. Now they are allowed to pursue you if they see you committing a crime in Virginia and you run to Tennessee. They can pursue you into Tennessee.
Okay.
But they are not allowed to go into Tennessee to enforce laws. So, like, if they see you breaking a law in Tennessee, the Virginia police won't cross the border to stop you.
Yeah. Wow.
Unless you're gonna harm somebody.
Right.
They're gonna stop you from harming somebody.
That makes sense. I trust the police to have some discretion.
Right. But so it's just. And I don't know why the Tennessee police don't really patrol that area, but the Virginia police do, but they can't cross the street.
Okay.
And if you have your GPS on in your car, every time you cross State Street, it says "Welcome to Virginia" or "Welcome to Tennessee" every time you cross. And all the shows were all within a couple miles of each other. They're all in that area.
Right.
The club was walking distance from the Airbnb, which I didn't need because I had a car. But a lot of people flew in, so it was nice to. Most people were within walking distance. I had a 2-bedroom Airbnb with another comic. We each had our own bedroom. We did have to share a bathroom though, but it was nice. Nobody messed with us. Like, I was afraid it was going to be like just part of a house we'd have to worry about the owners and stuff, but it was just an upstairs kind of a converted apartment. So it was nice. It was really not that much different than a hotel. Cause we didn't have to worry about interacting with anybody.
Okay. Yeah. That's not bad.
It was, so first night I get to it is a first show, 6 PM. It is a souvenir shop, and there are no chairs. And it's just people standing at a souvenir shop with a show in the back.
That seems like an awkward
Which
show.
seems very awkward. However, it was going well. Like, everybody was standing and paying attention. Nobody was too disruptive. I was afraid that people would just be shopping and it would be annoying. Everybody kind of was respectful and stood there and watched the show. The crowd was good. The crowd was responding well. But I was a little worried when I saw this.
Right.
And I was like, oh, well, my next show was at an axe throwing place, and I was like, I can only imagine where we're going to be.
Yeah.
We're going to be trying to compete with axes and stuff.
You're going to be the target.
Yeah, I didn't know what was going to happen when we went to the axe throwing place, so I was a little worried about that. However, there was another show before my show. So my first show of the festival was at 9:30 at the axe throwing place. But before that, we had the souvenir shop at 6. Then there was a show at the club at 7:30. So everybody was given 3 shows.
Nice. Okay.
Some people had 2 on Friday, and some people had 2 on Saturday, but they had at least 1 a day. And the 7:30 show at the club was the 2. I guess the 2 flagship shows were the 2 7:30 shows at the club. So there was a 7:30 show on Friday and a 7:30 show on Saturday.
Okay.
So you were going to be in one of those 2 shows. So half the comics were in the Friday show, half were in the Saturday. I was on the Saturday show, so I went to watch the Friday show at 7:30. Great club, really well produced, really well set up. The owners are great. Really, they took a lot of time building this club and spent a lot of time logistically. Very, very awesome club. Very good sound system. Very good setup with chairs and everything. Have us a lot of space. Like, they could go pretty. They could house a lot, I think.
Right.
I don't know what the capacity is, but they had it about half set up with chairs, and then the rest was kind of empty in the back. And 7:30 show went well, and then I went to my 9:30 show, and it turns out the axe throwing place had a separate venue, had like a separate room.
That's cool.
With a stage and setup and everything. It was great. It was set up kind of like a club. When we got there was a Christmas party going on, so I was a little worried about that. But then we had a good, decent crowd to start off with, and then by the time the first comic got up after the host, it had doubled.
That's awesome.
So we had a huge crowd. I posted some pictures about it. It was a great, really fun crowd. I mean, it was probably my best show of the festival, which is a shame that it was the first show.
Right.
But it was probably my best show of the festival. It was great. I ended up kind of not doing the set I had intended to do.
Right.
Because I said something about having driven up from Florida that day, and from Jacksonville, and somebody said Bortles. Because they don't know about Duval, but they know about Bortles because of the Good Place. Yep. So somebody goes, Bortles, and I was like, so then I went off on the Jaguars. Like, I just had this whole bit about the Jaguars, and it went really well, and people were laughing and everything, and I was like, and then I kind of went into about half of the stuff I had planned on talking about. So it was a little odd of a set, but it went very well. I got a good response. I had set it up to record, and I went to listen to the recording, and I had turned the volume up on my Zoom recorder too loud, and it was just peaking. It was just like really, really loud. Oh no, that's not what it was. Yeah, I mean, that's what it was. I was using that, but I had piped it into my phone.
Okay.
So I had my mic here, and I had that piped in for the audience, but I had them too loud. So it was just ruined the audio. But I had luckily recorded this too on the SD card, so that sounded okay. Right. But it wasn't picking me up as well as it would have if I had the mic. So we had all that. I got a good set. An okay recording. I don't know if I'll post any of that. Then we had an industry panel at noon on Saturday. We had bookers from 3 different comedy festivals.
Nice.
We had a booker from the Idiot Box Comedy Club in Greenville, North Carolina? South Carolina? One of the Carolinas. Yeah. And could have also been Greensboro. I always get those two confused. Greensboro and Greenville.
Okay, I know there's a Greenville in South Carolina, but I don't know where the Idiot Box is. So
Idiot Box is there somewhere. And she was great. They had a lot of really good advice on how to get booked and things like that. It was a lot of fun. And I ended up getting to know several of the bookers, and there was just one I was talking to who books a festival in Arkansas, which I did not know existed, which is where I grew up, was Arkansas. Did you find the city?
Yeah, Greensboro, North Carolina.
Greensboro, North Carolina is where the Idiot Box is. So anyway, that was the industry panel was great. They fed us pizza, and they brought a lot, and so there was pizza left over after everybody had some. So I had too much pizza, and then I didn't eat again the rest of the day. So I didn't have to pay for any any food that day. The industry panel went very well. Then they had a clean show planned. So they had a dirty show the night before at 10 o'clock.
Okay.
So this was the dirty show, and then they had the clean show. I was on the clean show, obviously, and that show was at 4 o'clock at the club on Saturday, and nobody showed up to that show. So 4 o'clock is not a good time for comedy.
No.
So they just pushed us all to another show that was at a brewery at 5:30 at another show. They just kind of doubled up and had us all be on this show, and that show went very well. It was packed. We had a huge crowd, good crowd. Really, they stuck around. Ended up being a really long show because we had doubled the performers, but it ended up being great. Like the crowd stuck around and it was really good, and I had a pretty good set there. And then we had the main set at the club for Saturday, and that show I was on, and I had a whole set planned. Again, I should stop doing this. I had a whole set planned. I was ready to do it. I was going to do my lawnmower, like the lawn mowing bit, that whole thing, the HOA bit, which we are number one in keyword searches for California HOA laws for some reason.
Well, California is known for laws and HOAs.
I don't know why specifically California HOA, because I don't know that we've ever actually talked about a California HOA. It's always Florida HOA. So I have my whole bit like that. I've got that all planned. I've done it a million times. I'm ready to go up there and get a good set. The person before me was up there doing a bit, and she said something about Mormons, and then she said, "Are there any Mormons in the audience?" And I wooed, and I was the only one, and I said, "Woo!" And then she said, "I don't believe you. I don't believe that you're a Mormon." And then so I had to do a whole set to prove that I was a member of the church, and so I did my whole set about that, and I have my merch for it that I brought. I happen to have in the car. Nobody bought any, but it's a bit too. So I did the bit about the merch and everything. So the set went very well. It was not what I was planning on doing, but I don't know that I have a good recording of that set anyway. So hopefully I got a good recording of that set. But the show went very well. Everybody had a lot of fun on that on the final comedy show. Then we ended the night with karaoke at 10 o'clock at the club, and I would say there was several audience members that stuck around to watch the karaoke. Okay. And we all we all did a song or two, and that was actually a lot of fun.
Karaoke scares me.
Yeah. The karaoke show was fun, and I did 2 songs, and they were fun. Everybody had a good time. Everybody had fun with that karaoke show.
I think I'm going to try to conquer that karaoke fear because I'm making it come back to me real fast, because I'm enjoying the acting thing, and I might want to try a musical because my son really enjoys the theater aspect. But I'm gonna have to, I think, try karaoke first.
Yeah. Just to get used to singing in front of people. Right.
But no, that sounds like an awesome experience and an awesome festival.
I probably got about 20 or 30 followers on social media from it, from other comics, but also audience members and people who are just attending the festival ended up following me on social media.
So they're obviously listening and watching now. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for following me. I'm sure you're all listening to the episode right now.
Yes, and as you follow Joey, you should follow Bobby Parker Comedy.
Follow Bobby Parker Comedy and Today Is Podcast. All that great stuff.
I'm going to talk about the comedy festival that I went to a couple months ago now, the Montclair Comedy
Oh,
Festival.
we haven't talked about it?
Well, we have, but I've got a small update that I think is a super cool thing that this comedy festival did.
Oh, okay.
They sent me a card that had a check in it. It was revenue sharing from the shows that you were part of. If they had money left over after expenses,
Really?
they gave comedians money.
Huh. Okay.
And it was not much money, but it was something.
It was something.
And that is something that I've never heard of a comedy club.
I've never heard of a festival doing that. Yeah.
And
I've never heard
I
of a
think
festival
that
doing
is
that.
super cool. I enjoyed everything about the festival, and I enjoy it more now that I got a little bit of money for it.
Huh.
Nowhere near the expenses
Yeah.
of going there, but I mean, props to them. Absolute props.
Yeah, that's real classy of them
Yes.
to do that. Yeah. That's great. And you had a great experience there?
Yeah, I had a blast. It was really cool. The timing of it was awful because I was originally going to fly up, and it was during the shutdown, so I didn't trust flying. I had limited time to get there. I performed, and I wasn't going to perform a second time. I had limited time to get back, so it wasn't worth spending an extra day and then driving back from New Jersey in a day. So I'm like, So it was one of those things where I drove there, I did a show, and I drove home.
Yeah.
But that wasn't their fault.
Yeah.
It was a awesome setup. They treated me super well. They treated all the comedians really well. It's a super cool venue that I was at. I saw pictures of the other venues. They were also awesome. So I mean, yeah, it was awesome. It was just bad timing for me.
Well, that sounds good. I'm glad. Yeah, so we both had some cool festivals that we attended recently. I would recommend the Blue Ridge Comedy Festival to anybody. That was a lot of fun. I'd recommend anybody who wants to apply next year. I don't know if they do it at exactly the same time every year. It was very cold. I will warn you that it is very cold if you're coming from the south. And I think I'm going to apply to a few more festivals. This is my maybe fourth or fifth festival that I've been a part of, and that was probably one of the most I don't know what the word I'm looking for. Like everybody really, there was a lot of camaraderie and a lot of support in that one, more than other festivals that I've been to. I think because I think Orlando Indie Comedy Fest was the only other festival I've been to that didn't have a competition aspect to it.
Right.
All the other festivals I've been to have had a competition aspect to it. So I think that brings down the camaraderie a little bit.
It does. Yeah.
And what Blue Ridge Comedy Festival did is they actually separated their competition and their festival. So they had their festival but they had a competition the week before. And I don't think they opened it up to like anybody. I guess it was technically opened up to anybody. It was mostly just people from the area being in the competition. So they did that the week before the festival, and then they did the festival. And the festival used to have a competition aspect to it, but I think they just wanted to keep it a festival and keep it beneficial for everybody and have industry people there and stuff like that. I think I'm going to apply to the Traverse City Comedy Festival.
Okay.
Which is in
Michigan.
Detroit.
Yeah.
Michigan. Traverse City is its own city, I guess, but it's like a suburb of Detroit, I think.
Yes.
So I think I'm going to apply to that, mainly because the headliners for that are Gary Gulman and Roy Wood Jr., which are two of my favorites. Like, I love both of those comics. Great. I've never actually gotten to see Gary Gulman in person.
I have. I actually got to open.
That's right. You told me that. I forgot about that. Yeah. At the Comedy Zone?
At the Comedy Zone.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and so I think the ship has sailed on that. I don't think he's doing Comedy Zone anymore when he comes.
No.
I mean, last time he came to town, he went to the Ponte Vedra Concert Hall.
Yes. Yep.
But so I think it'll be a good opportunity to see him live if I get in. Roy Wood Jr. I have seen live at the Comedy Zone, and I've met him. He's a great, really awesome dude. Really great to upcoming comics and stuff. Very good at He's a very gracious veteran comic, and they also provide hotel,
Okay.
and a travel stipend.
Ooh,
So yeah, if you live outside of 60 miles from the venue, they will provide a travel stipend for you too. I don't know how much it'll cover, but flights are actually not too bad
Right.
to Detroit. You can get cheap. You can do round trip for like $120.
that's not bad at all.
From and if not from Jacksonville, then from Orlando has direct flights all the time to Detroit. So I think I'm going to apply to that. And see how it goes. There's a couple others that I've been considering applying for. I don't know. I kind of had kind of thought I wasn't going to do festivals anymore. I
Right.
thought I was kind of past that, and that it was too much of a hassle to try to submit and then have to travel. But I don't know if they're going to offer a hotel. It's hard to pass up a free hotel.
It is hard to pass it up. I'm going to only do a very select few of them, like apply. Partially because I don't like spending money to apply.
Yeah, that can get a little rough. This one was, I think the Blue Ridge one was $35, which I did feel like I had a good chance of getting in because it wasn't like in a big city.
Right.
So I felt like I had a good chance of getting in, and it was well worth the $35. I mean, I got this free T-shirt.
Nice.
And a festival badge. So.
Oh yeah, I mean, and pizza.
And pizza. So, but yeah, I figured if I get in, it'd be worth the money. Now, a lot of festivals will do a thing where if you don't get in, you can apply what you paid to get into the festival if you want to attend the festival.
Right. That's nice. That's cool,
which is nice of them, but then you also have to travel out there
Right.
for and pay your own way to get out there. However, I will say that they did specifically say at the Traverse City Festival, if you don't get in and you want to apply it to your fee to the festival, you can. Also, they have there are open mics at the festival.
Okay.
They said that in the description, like there will be open mics if you want to attend, and some. I think they said some like lottery showcases. Like if you just
Okay.
put your name in, you might get picked for a showcase at the festival, even if you didn't get into the festival to be one of the featured performers. So
That's pretty cool.
that's nice. I think that's pretty cool of them to do. I probably will not do that because I will have to pay
You're right. Yeah.
for a flight and hotels and everything to get to Detroit. But if I, but I would like to. It would be fun to get in. It would be great to get in. It sounds like a good festival. Any festival that has headliners like that is probably going to attract a lot of comics, though. So it's going to be probably pretty competitive to get in. But I did actually my flatmate at the festival this year was from Detroit.
Okay.
And I actually asked him about it. I said, "What do you think of this festival?" And he said, "Well, I've never gotten into the festival. However, it is new people this year,
Right.
and they tend to have new people a lot. It like changes hands. I don't know if they do that by design, but he's like, I would get kind of get to know the people who are running it, and then it would change hands. And so I never have had it. He's like, I've never had a chance to actually get into the festival, but he said it's worth trying because it is new people every time. So it's not like everybody who applies is going to have a relationship with the people,
Right,
Because
yeah.
this is their first year doing the festival, so it might be a little more even because of that. Like the odds might be a little more even because there's not going to be they're not going to have a continuous relationship with anybody in particular
Okay.
from out of town. So I don't know. Could be good. I'll be applying to that.
So would you say that you getting into the festival you wouldn't have good odds? You would be coming up from the bottom.
I would be a bottom dog.
Ooh, yeah.
No, I think I just invented a new phrase. Nobody's ever thought of this before.
No, not at all. It's
Today's topic is as Bobby so clunkily transitioned us into,
Amazingly clunkily.
is National Underdog Day. So I did a little research on underdogs. What's that shirt?
This is an Underdog T-shirt.
Oh, Underdog the cartoon.
Yeah,
Underdog. I used to watch. Now he started from Rocky and Bullwinkle, right?
I believe it's the same animation style.
I think he started as a
think
segment
so.
on that, but then became his own show at some point.
That it could be that sounds right. I do not know.
So, the term underdog is kind of has two origins. I think really one origin, but then one that became is you have the origin of the term and then how the term became not associated with that origin. So the first time somebody used it in a context that didn't apply to this, it is not a great origin to the story.
Okay.
It is dog fighting. That is how the origin of the term comes from.
Yeah, it makes sense, but I just wouldn't have guessed that.
The underdog is in dog fighting there was the favored dog and then the underdog, the dog who had to work from the bottom.
Okay.
Is what is where the term comes from in the I want to say the 1700s, 1800s, I forget, 1800s, I'm pretty sure.
Wow.
And then it got the first time it jumped to not being about dogs was in sawmills.
Okay.
So they used to call the person. There's a person who works in the top of the sawmill and a person who works in the bottom of the sawmill. The person on the top of the sawmill is preferable because the bottom of the sawmill person gets all the dust and the shavings on them. So they get covered in dust and shavings. And so there's the top dog. They would call the person at the top of the sawmill was called the top dog, and the person at the bottom was called the underdog.
Okay.
And so it is a sawmill term, top dog and underdog. But it got its start in dog fighting.
As far as sawmill terms go, I prefer sawmill gravy.
Yeah, sawmill gravy is great.
Great.
It does not have any wood shavings in it, as far as I know. It might.
Yeah, it might have some small amount of sawdust just for the fiber, but it's been cooked to the point where it's delicious.
Yes, which is the gravy at Cracker Barrel.
Yes, that
They
is
call
the
that
kind.
sawmill gravy.
Yes, that.
So that's where the term comes from. I thought we'd talk for a minute about our favorite underdogs. Do you have like a favorite sport? I mean, it's almost always sports. Like
Right.
that. It's almost always sports or competition of some kind. I think one of the greatest fictional underdog stories in media is probably Rocky.
Yes. Oh.
That's the quintessential underdog story because Rocky was not a professional boxer at all when he started,
Right.
and then kind of got a chance to become to come from nobody and then to be facing the world champion, which
Right.
is the great. That is the quintessential underdog story. Like
Yes.
you're nobody and you get a chance to face the best. And you do well, and you hold your own.
Yep. That is. I think. Yeah. My favorite underdogs. That.
I mean, I love. Man, I have really. Listen, I woke up and came over here, so my throat's all.
I think like every one of my favorite sports movies is an underdog movie.
They have to
because,
be.
Yeah.
If you had a sport, that's why Rocky. They always had to bring Rocky back down.
Right.
every time they made another Rocky movie. Well, first of all, they had the foresight of him not winning the championship at the end. Right. Spoiler alert: Rocky does not win the belt at the end of Rocky 1. Right. And so they had the foresight of doing that because then it's like now when he comes back, he's not. If he comes back, if you start Rocky 2 and he's the champion,
right?
Then But they did. Now I will say in Rocky 2, they did make it a little too much of an effort to turn him back to underdog status. Like he kept trying to do things to capitalize on his his notoriety, and that he kept failing at it. Like he was making commercials and he just couldn't. He was a bad actor. Turned out to be a bad actor, but I don't know. I still feel like you play on the national stage, you're gonna get something out of it. Like nobody would like give him a fight afterwards, and it's like I don't know. That felt unrealistic to me. I was like, you almost beat the heavyweight champion, and you're struggling to pay rent, and he became like a bucket guy at the local gym. Basically,
Yeah.
Like he emptied the spit buckets at the local gym because he couldn't find work, and it's like I don't know about that. I don't think that's happening so quickly after you just had a match. Which, by the way, boxing movies are some of my favorite sports movies. I am not a boxing fan of real boxing. I don't think it's that interesting to watch real boxing.
I used to think boxing was interesting to watch, and then MMA came out. I'm not a huge MMA fan by any stretch of the imagination, but it's so much more enjoyable because I have a wrestling background. I understand it more.
Yeah.
I think it's just a better competition.
I will say boxing has gotten. The boxing has gotten better, I think, than live boxing was, because I think they're better about like. Now MMA, no, they have MMA, so they really kill each other in MMA. But boxing, I think it's not so much about beating the crap out of your opponent on boxing anymore, as much as I think it used to be more about that. I think it used to be more like you had to get knockouts and everything, and now it's like it's more about you can. I think there are more people winning by points these days. I don't know. Maybe I'm completely wrong, but I actually enjoy watching boxing when it is about getting points,
right?
Because then it's a competition.
A skilled boxer.
Yes.
It's not just I'm punching someone in the face. It's
yes.
Hey, I'm figuring out how to hit this person.
Yes.
And they've got incredible defense. And they know how to get
and
away.
I actually would be more on board with boxing if knockouts weren't even allowed. Like if you just got rid of knockouts completely, because first of all, they are terrible for you. Like, you are doing irreparable damage to somebody when you knock them out at any time. Doesn't matter what the context. When you get knocked unconscious, you have irreparable damage done to your brain.
Yes.
And we have so many people, ending up with CTE and stuff like that. And it's like, once you get your first knockout, it's not like you can recover to 100% again and then you're good and then to get another knockout. It's every knockout is going to build on each other. And it's like, I think knockouts should be, and this, I mean, I'm sure all boxing fans are like, you're an idiot. This is it wouldn't be fun to watch anymore.
I don't know how you could have boxing without that, because you're going to get punched in the head.
You are, but I think that if it were, so like, look at, for instance, like Olympic boxing. Ever watched Olympic boxing?
Yeah, they've got the
headgear on. Yeah. Like I think there are way less knockouts in Olympic boxing than there are in professional boxing.
But there's still knockouts.
There are still knockouts, but I think that the game should be played with less knockouts. Like, I don't think it should be about how hard you hit the person. It should be about where and how many times you hit the person. Okay. It's like it should be more about skill than it is about force.
Right. And I think, to kind of go into that point, like when you look back, I remember listening to something about Muhammad Ali where he was fighting 5 or 6 matches a year, 5 or 6 bouts a year. And like now it's maybe 1 a year.
Yeah. Right.
Like or 2.
Yeah.
While you're coming up, 3 at the absolute one, but 5 or 6.
5 or 6.
Like every 2 months, you're having that kind of fight where you're getting damaged.
Yeah.
I hate that it happened to him, but man, I can completely understand why Muhammad Ali ended up with such severe Parkinson's.
Yeah.
With he had
I don't know
damage.
I don't know if the boxing would have caused the Parkinson's necessarily, but I can't imagine having been hit in the head so many times would have helped once he had the Parkinson's. Like,
it absolutely created a cascade effect.
Of course. Like, I can't imagine that he would have been he wouldn't have been better off with even if he had developed Parkinson's. If he had not been a boxer, I can't imagine that the Parkinson's would not have been better.
Right.
I don't know if I'm saying my negatives correctly, but if he hadn't been a boxer, he definitely would have had a better reaction to the Parkinson's, I think.
Yes. Yeah.
Or would not have declined so quickly or so poorly.
I believe that the way it works is you have a genetic predisposition for it, and the brain damage from boxing made that come to the forefront and accelerated it.
Yeah, I'm sure it did. And I don't know if you're speaking from knowledge or if you're
half and half.
Half and half, but
Yeah.
I'm sure that's how it is. I mean, I haven't looked anything up, and I don't do any research, but and I am not a medical doctor, so or a doctor of any kind, except for love.
And I appreciate
They call me
that.
Dr. Love. Isn't that how that song goes?
I have no idea. I've heard of a song called Dr. Love. I have no idea how it goes.
Doctor, doctor, give me the news. I got a bad case of loving you. That's a different song.
I was going to say, I don't think that's Dr.
That's
Love.
not Dr. Love.
No.
That's Dr. Doctor, I think. Is it called? Or just Bad Case of Loving You?
I couldn't tell you. I'm not that much of a music
Give me
guy.
nothing, Bobby. Give me nothing.
That's what I do best.
So anyway, Rocky is the public has been. I don't know if it's an American thing specifically, but just they love the underdog story.
Yes.
And like every sports movie has to be an underdog story. Otherwise, it's not interesting. It's not interesting to have a movie about the greatest of all time at their prime. It's like you have to have the come up. Like Miracle. Have you watched the hockey
Miracle's
movie?
phenomenal.
Miracle's great. Miracle not only is an underdog story, but it's like a patriotic story. It's
Yes.
it's like we're beating the Russians at a time when we were kind of at war with the Russians.
Right. And a time in a sport that we're not.
And a sport we're not as good at
Yeah.
as the Russians. It'd be like today
Russia coming here and beating us in football.
Yes. Well, yeah, that would be kind of, or baseball or something like that.
Yeah.
But I think the modern day miracle would be if we beat Russia for the championship of the World Cup soccer, because the World Cup soccer is in the United States this year.
Yes. Yep.
And like if we beat Russia on the World Cup championship soccer, that would be huge because we never do well in soccer, at least the men's soccer.
Yeah, men's side, we have not traditionally done well.
The women have done well.
Women have done
Women have
fantastic.
done great.
America actually has one of the best players playing for us, but it's one player,
Yeah.
and everyone else is from other countries.
Right. Now, last time we were in the World Cup, we won a couple matches.
Yeah.
We advanced to the next round last time
Yes.
we did the World Cup. And I watched a game. I actually watched us play. Who was that game we won? That first match that we won. I forget who we were playing, but it was like a big deal that we had won because they were high seeded or something.
I don't know if it was World Cup, but I know the U.S. beat Mexico in soccer like a couple years ago. And that might have been like the Copa Cup or something.
Could
like
have
that.
been. All I know is that this was either World Cup or it could have been Olympics. What I'm thinking. No, I'm pretty sure it was it was World Cup because I remember thinking, oh, we're actually pretty good this year. And I looked it up. Like I wanted to look up the team, and turns out like there's a bunch of guys from other countries on our team, and I'm like, oh. We just built a better team this year. Like we somehow got.
Yeah,
I don't know. We paid them well enough that they played for us. Like
they applied for citizenship.
yeah, right. Yeah. Like that's like we just get if you look at them, first of all, when you look at years past and then the one we had a couple years ago when we were pretty good. Way more non-white people on the team, and I don't mean just black people, but like brown people, South American people, or people like that on the team now, or at least the one that we were pretty good that year. We were pretty good, and it's like, and then you start to look, and like all the birth countries are like from other countries. It's like, oh, they weren't even born here.
Yep.
So we kind of built our team that way. But I watched the match where we won, and this is how boring soccer is. First of all, I think we won 1-0.
Yep.
Was the score. I think it was 1-0. And soccer is so boring that once we scored that goal, they kept showing that goal over and over again. They cut away from the game that was happening, the live game that was happening, to show us that goal over and over and over again. And it's, I think it's great that they're bringing the World Cup to the United States this year, and I hope it helps us to kind of get on, to get more on board with the World Cup, and I hope our team does well. But soccer, I cannot understand how people get so they love it so much. The rest of this world loves it so much, and it is such a boring game. Like, first of all, it's the size of a football field. Is it size of our
bigger?
Is it bigger?
It's bigger.
It's huge.
Yeah.
And these guys are running. There's these little specks just running across the field, and it's like it's hard to even see who it is or anything like that unless they zoom in. And then you have, like just watching them run across that field makes me tired. Like I had to take a nap after watching, and it's like there's certain things I'm like, if they just adjusted it a little bit, it would be more interesting to me. And I realize this is not the general world.
Right.
Most of the world enjoys football or soccer as it's played. Which, by the way, I have an axe to grind about people saying we're saying it wrong, that it is called football. Well, you told us it was soccer. I may have said this already on the podcast.
You have brought it up, and I agree.
Yes, soccer was a term brought to us by the UK. The British people brought us that term, soccer, and we called it soccer because that's what they called it at the time. Then they started calling it football. It was always called football, but there were different types of football. There was association football, there was rugby football, stuff like that. So ASOC, or soccer for short, was association football. They called it ASOC, or soccer was that type of football. Anyway, so you told us it was soccer and then changed it back to football without telling us. Now I forgot what I was saying. Oh yeah, so I maybe make the field smaller, and then maybe let's get rid of the goalies and maybe make the goal a little bit smaller. And then, it's hot outside.
But I say they should play it on flying brooms then.
Yeah, well, you do it on broomsticks. You've solved a lot of issues. It's going to be a lot more interesting to watch. Although I do have a problem with Quidditch. The snitch, that's never sat well with me. It's like you can play an entire game of Quidditch and then, he captures the snitch and the game's over.
Right.
It's like, that's crazy to me.
Yeah.
that's the dumbest, that's the dumbest loophole in a game. I don't know. Anyway, but let's make that field a little smaller. I think it'd be more interesting to watch. Maybe bring it indoors. Maybe start, instead of having to use their feet all the time, they get to use their hands and maybe bounce it on, and maybe put hardwood down instead of grass, and then they can bounce the ball. But now without the goalies, and you make the goal smaller, then you're going to have it'd be probably too easy to score goals, so you want to make it higher. So maybe make it 10 feet in the air.
Yeah.
And then on hardwood, and then they have to throw they have to instead, so just so you're not just running with the ball, you actually have to bounce it instead of kicking it. And then I'd watch soccer.
Yeah, that makes. We'd probably want fewer people on.
Yeah, maybe only five.
Yeah, five.
5 people. Yeah, because it's a smaller field.
Right.
And it technically won't be a field anymore. I guess you could call it a court or something like that,
or a cage.
Or a cage, yeah.
Court, yeah.
And then the goals, we'd have to call those circle nets or something.
Yeah. Like a hoop.
Hoops. Like a hoop. Yeah, instead of a goal, instead of a soccer goal,
and instead
you
of it
throw
this
it.
way, it'd be that way.
Yes. Oh, that makes way more sense. And you throw it into a hoop. Although you're gonna throw it too far a lot, so you have to have something to bounce it off of, like a back.
Yeah.
Like a backwood.
Yeah.
a backing.
Wood board.
Like a board. Oh, like a board of some. Yeah, like a backboard. And then
Okay.
you have the hoop and a backboard, and you can throw the ball at the backboard, and it gets into the hoop. Then it stops it from going all the way into the stands and stuff.
I think that people could get into that.
Yeah, I would play. I think Americans would start watching soccer if they made these changes.
Yes.
To it. I think that's.
I think the rest of the world would jump in too, and it would become very popular.
For
elsewhere.
sure. Yeah, I think so.
Especially like Eastern.
It'd be like
Europe.
something. It'd be like things that nobody has ever seen before. Nobody will have seen soccer. Brand new soccer. I think we should start it. We're gonna start the. Today is soccer league.
Yeah.
Indoor hardwood soccer league. That's what we'll call it. Indoor hardwood soccer is what we'll call it.
Yeah. Hand soccer.
Hand soccer, or like, indoor hardwood hand soccer is what we'll call it. Sounds great. And you'll probably need to be tall. Since they're 10 feet tall, the players are going to be tall now instead of, it doesn't, like with regular soccer, it kind of doesn't matter how tall you are. But
short players actually have an advantage.
do they? Because they can kind of weave in and out a little better.
Yeah.
And they don't get knocked over as much. But you want them tall if you're playing hardwood soccer.
Right.
Yeah. I think we are onto something.
Yeah, I think so. It makes sense.
Let's see. All right. Well, it's about time to wrap up. I do want to mention. I did want to mention this one underdog this year. My nephew's alma mater. So, and I think he's still going there. I'm not sure. He's in graduate school right now.
Okay.
I think still at the same college. My nephew Benjamin, his school is James Madison.
Okay.
And James Madison has they have a football team, and they were Division 1A or whatever it was, like the lower Division 1 for a while.
Right.
But the last few years they got bumped up to regular Division 1, and they won their conference this year and are going to the playoffs.
That's awesome.
And it's pretty crazy because the way they did the playoffs this year, because there's 12 teams now.
Right.
And I thought it was going to be the top 12. I thought that's how they were going to do it. The top 12 ranks, they were going to go to the playoffs. That is not what they did. They did, and I don't know how the rules work exactly, but it's the top 10 are going, but then the other two are. It was like if you're ranked and you're a conference champion, you're going.
Right.
So it was like all the conference champions are going. So they won their conference, so they're going. So there are two teams that won their conferences, both ranked teams, but not in the top 12. So they're ranked like 25th or something like that, or like 20th, like low in the rankings. But they are like I think they only have one loss or something. They're like 11-1 or 12-1 or something. So they are going to the playoffs. They are decidedly an underdog, obviously, because they're the lowest ranked team. So I'm rooting for them. This is kind of crazy that a team not in one of the big conferences is getting a chance to play it on the national stage in the playoffs. I'm super excited for that. That's my underdog team this year. I'm gonna be rooting for them until they play Ohio State, and then I'll root for Ohio State.
Right. Yeah. I mean, obviously, but yeah, I'm.
But my team did not make it into the playoffs, barely. Just by one game, didn't make it in. They couldn't win their conference, BYU.
Yeah, they played Texas Tech, who is an amazing team.
Texas Tech is great. And Texas Tech is a high seed. They are getting a bye week because they're such a high seed. And Texas Tech, they're very good this year. Texas Tech was a very tough team. We lost to them twice this year because we lost in the regular season, and then we had a chance to redeem ourselves in the conference championship, and we couldn't pull it off. But I will be rooting for James Madison. Hope I'd like to see that school make it further, win a couple games, but. Anyway, you got any shows coming up? You got you got the play.
I've got the play.
Come see the play tonight and tomorrow night and Sunday night.
Yep, and I've got some stuff coming up in 2026, but I will save that for later.
All right, I have also come to the open mics. Shantytown's last open mic of 2025 will be this coming Monday, the 22nd. So Monday the 22nd, the last Shantytown open mic of the year. So come out to that. And other than that, we're still working on when we're going to film our specials.
Yes. Yeah.
I was kind of hoping to do it maybe end of January, but we'll see. We'll see. We got to do some work on that. But thank you for listening. Today is National Underdog Day. Today is whatever we say it is. Wait, what do I do? Today is National Underdog Day. I'm Joey Nickel.
I'm Bobby Parker.
Today is whatever we say it is, and you're here for it. See you tomorrow.
Have a good one.
Today is whatever they say it is, and we're here for it.